Record and we can start. All right. I think I will stop teaching at 11:50, and we were talking about problems leading to quadratic equation. Anyway, in YouTube, actually, I shared the solutions of 3 examples. Okay, this is example 10, and I just keep. And this is example 11. It's about business, related to business, and it's about from physics. Okay, and we can watch this. I think not many people watch this yet. Okay, I think admission, actually this automatic. Anyway, now from exercise 6F, I'm going to solve a few questions, even numbered questions. I will go a bit fast because I'm expecting that you must have already watched the video. I mean the previous video. Okay, it's about example 1, 2, 3. And also in chapter 3, I think you did many questions actually that leads to quadratic equation. But at that time, when you model this, the quadratic equation could be solved by factorization. But here, it may be solved by factorization or not, we are not sure. And that's why here it's put here, in case if it's not solved by factorization, at that time, we need to use formula. And even by factorization, if it is possible, the numbers are so big, so that when the constant is so big, it's not so easy to find two numbers, right? That satisfies those conditions. The product of two numbers equals the middle term, and the product of the sum of two numbers equals the middle term, and their product equals the constant term. Anyway, so here I have chosen even numbered questions here. All right, and the rest you'll practice question 1, 3, 5, odd numbered questions. And also, actually, when we're solving these questions, you need to keep a calculator if you have, or any calculator in your telephone. So the product of two consecutive odd numbers is 255. Find the numbers. And now it should be quite clear for you. The product, we mean what we mean by product. So we are just multiplying two numbers. And what kind of two numbers? Consecutive and odd numbers, right? If the first number is n, right, the second number will be n plus 2, right? And the product, n times n plus 2 is equal to 255. Okay. But here we know that these numbers, n and n plus 2, or n, is a whole number, right? Because we are saying the odd numbers, it must be a whole number. And when we say whole number, I mean this 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, these are whole numbers. But if I just exclude 0, also we can call this positive integers, right? And without 0, also it is called natural numbers. So now, again, I'm going to use guess and trial methods, because if you just expand the left-hand side, you will get a quadratic equation, right? And also we can solve this by using the formula. But since we have another method here, because I know that the solutions are whole numbers, guess and trial method. Okay. So 255. We know that 15 times 15, that is 15 squared, it is 225, right? So how about 16 squared? 16 squared is 256. So actually this n should be very close to 15 and 16, right? So I just guess. If I guess, for example, 15, and next number is 15 plus 2. If you evaluate this, 15 times 17. What is 15 times 17? That's equal to 255. Actually, it works, right? So the answer is, those numbers are, it is 15 and 17. Okay. Do we have other answers? We may have other answers, but they are not positive. Okay, because if you solve the quadratic equation, here we will have n squared plus 2n minus 255 is equal to 0, right? So I can actually solve this by factorization. So in this method now we have all the methods, right? If you want, you can use the formula to solve this quadratic equation, or if it is possible to factorize, just factorize and solve it. Or if you know any other methods, you can use any methods you like. So here this thing is, it is 17 times negative 15, right? So as see here also this 2, it is 17 plus negative 15. So we can factorize it as n minus 15 and n plus 17. That's equal to 0. The first solution of this quadratic equation is 15, and the second solution is negative 17. But in the question, it says that the product of two consecutive odd numbers, oh, there's no positive here, right? Actually, both are possible answers. So if the answer is if n equals 15, and those numbers will be, the first number will be 15, and the second number is n plus 2. N plus 2, it is 17. If n equals negative 17, then the numbers will be, the first number will be negative 17, right? And negative 17 plus 2, it is negative 15. Okay, so we have two possible answers here, because here in the question it doesn't say positive, right? So it can be positive or negative, because also this negative 17, it is odd number. Negative 15, it is an odd number, right? And consecutive, are they consecutive? Yes, right? Okay. Another example, question 4 from exercise 6F. The numerator of a fraction is 2 less than its denominator. Okay, when both numerator and denominator are increased by 3, the fraction is increased by 3 over 20. Find the original fraction. First, the numerator of a fraction. We know that a fraction is something like this, right? An integer is divided by another integer, right? And this a is called numerator, b is called denominator, and this line, we call this fraction line. All right. But in this question, it's saying that the numerator of a fraction is 2 less, right? Then it is denominator. Okay. So we know the numerator, we don't know, but we know that the numerator is, this a is 2 less than the denominator. So if the numerator is x, right, and denominator must be x plus 2, right? Because this numerator is 2 less than the denominator. If this is 5, this is 7. If it is 10, this is 12, right? Okay, the second case, it says that when both numerator and denominator are increased by 3, the fraction is increased by 3 by 20. So now, if I increase the numerator and denominator by 3, that means that I'm adding 3 to the numerator and adding 3 to the denominator, right? As a result, this new fraction, is greater than this. By how much? By 3 over 20, right? Because the fraction is increased by this. That means that since it is 3 over 20 greater than this, so the difference that x plus 3 over, this one is x plus 5 minus x over x plus 2 is equal to 3 over 20. Okay, and what is it? It's an equation reducible to quadratic equation. And right now I don't know, but I'm hoping that when I just simplify this, we will get a quadratic equation, since it is under the topic problems involving quadratic equations. So it must be reducible to quadratic equation. Okay, so we have to solve this. To do this one, I should simplify the left-hand side and express this as a single fraction. And after that, on the left-hand side, we'll have one fraction. On the right-hand side, one fraction, right? And cross multiply. And after that, simplify. Then we will see. Either we will solve the quadratic equation by factorization or using the formula. So let's continue. So the common denominator is x plus 5 times x plus 2. So here we have x plus 3 times x plus 2 minus, here we have x times x plus 5 over, here we have x plus 2 and x plus 5. On the right hand side we have 3 over 20. Right? Now if you just expand and simplify, x squared, here we have x squared, and here we have 2x and 3x, that is 5x. 3 times 2, it is 6, minus x times x, x squared, and x times 5, here we have minus 5x. And draw a long fraction line. Remove the brackets here, x squared plus 2x, 5x, that is 7x plus 10. On the right hand side, we have 3 over 20. Now, if you simplify the numerator of this fraction, x squared, they cancel each other, 5x, 5x, right? So they cancel each other. And also this 5x, 5x, 6 left, right? And cross multiply. Here we have 6 times 20 is equal to 3 times this expression. That is 3x squared plus 21x plus 30. Or 3x squared plus 21x. Here we have 120 and take it to the right hand side. 30 minus 120, that is minus 90 is equal to 0. But actually we can simplify further because all these numbers, right, divisible by 3. If you divide by 3, here we have x squared plus 7x minus 30 is equal to 0. And always, actually, I suggest you to try factorization. If it doesn't work or it is more complicated, then we can use the formula. So here, the coefficient of x squared is 1. So can we find two numbers whose product is negative 30 and their sum is 7? What are those numbers? I think it's just 10 and the negative 3, right? And here we have 10 plus negative 3 is equal to 7. It works. So I can factorize it as x minus 3 and the x plus 10 is equal to 0. Right. So from here, x equals 3 or x equals negative 10. Or x equals negative 10. Okay. All right. Now we need to write the results in color. Let's change this. We are looking for the fraction, right? Let me just write the answer here. If x equals 3, substitute here 3 plus 3 over 2. So that is 3 over 5. Right? Or if x equals negative 10 plus negative 10. Why they throw this line? Negative 10 over, and negative 10 plus 2, negative 8. And if you just simplify this, that is, what is it? 5 over 4. Okay. So answer, the given fraction is, it is 3 over 5 or 5 over 4. There are two fractions which satisfy the given conditions here, right? In both cases, for example, just take this 3 over 5, right? If you add 3 to the numerator and denominator and find the difference, calculate the difference, it will be 3 over 20. Or take this fraction, increase the numerator and denominator by 3, and after that find their difference, you will get 3 over 20. Okay. Next example, question 6. The altitude of a triangle. The altitude. Altitude means height, right? The altitude of a triangle is 6 centimeters greater than its base. If its area is 108 centimeters squared, find its base. It's an example from geometry, right? So we are given a kind of triangle. Let's say what kind of triangle. Okay, the altitude is greater than its base. So I should not draw something like this because height is greater than its base. Our triangle is maybe something like this. Okay. And this is the height of this triangle, altitude. And this one is base, right? It's a base. So the altitude of a triangle is 6 centimeters greater than its base. If its area is 108, find its base. So actually we are looking for this base. Let me denote this base by x. So if this base equals x and this one is x, the height will be, what is it? X plus 6. And how do you find the area of triangle? Area of the triangle equals 1/2 times base, that is x, times height, that is x plus 6. And that's equal to 108, right? Now if I just multiply both sides by 2 and remove the brackets, here we have x squared plus 6x, and this one is 216, take to the left, minus 216 is equal to 0, right? Let's solve this using the formula. First, we define delta, that is 6 squared minus 4 times negative 216. So that's equal to, it is 36 plus 4 times 216, that's equal to 900. Okay. So here we have x1 is equal to minus b minus 6 plus square root of 900 over and 2a, that's just 2. And if you evaluate this, square root of 900 is 30. 30 minus 6, it is 24. That's equal to 12. And the second solution of this problem will be 6 negative 6 minus square root of 900 over 2. And whatever it is less than 0. So this answer is rejected because x here represents the length, right? So we do not use negative numbers to measure the length, so it is rejected. Answer, so the base of the triangle is 12, what is it in centimeters? 12 centimeters. Okay. Another example, question 8. Guys, I'm going a bit fast maybe, but if you have any question, you can raise your hand. Right there we have something, you can raise your hand and ask question. The length and breadth of a rectangle are x plus 4 centimeters and x centimeters respectively. Write down expression for the perimeter of the rectangle and the length of the side of a square with the same perimeter. If the sum of the areas of the square and the rectangle is 94 centimeters squared, find x. Okay, now let's start from the beginning. The length and breadth of a rectangle. So we are talking about kind of rectangle, right? And the length is x plus 4, and width it is x centimeters. So question A, it says that write down expression for the perimeter of the rectangle. Okay, perimeter is equal to 2 times length plus width, which is equal to 2 times length. It is x plus 4, and width it is x. Equals, if you simplify this, here we have 2x, 2 times 2x, it is 4x, 2 times 4, it is 8. So the perimeter of the rectangle is 4x plus 8 centimeters. Done. Question B, the length of the side of a square with the same perimeter. Right. So actually here, we are talking about square. And let's say we know that all sides are equal. And yeah, I hate this line. Why it always appears? So let's say the side is A, and also it is A, it is A, it is A. Let me just write here, this is P sub 1, or since actually the perimeters are equal, I think I don't have to use this subscription notation. Okay, here the perimeter is the same. What is the perimeter of the square? It is 4a. And it says that the length of the side of a square with the same perimeter, right? So these two perimeters are equal. I mean, this rectangle and square, they have the same perimeter. And what is the perimeter of the rectangle? It is 4x plus 2. I just factorize this here. And 4 times a equals 4 times x plus 2. That implies a is equal to x plus 2. So the side, one side of the square is equal to x plus 2. Now, in part 2, and this is part A, right? Let me just write here, this one is C, whatever. If the sum of the areas of the square and the rectangle is 94 centimeters squared, find x. It says that, let's say this one is A sub 1, and this one is A sub 2, and it says A1 plus A2 is equal to 94. So we need to find the value of x. What is A1? Area of the rectangle is width times length, that is x times x plus 4. And area of the square is just a times a. What is a? X plus 2. That is x plus 2 squared. On the right hand side, we have 94. Right? Now, if you simplify this, here we have x squared, and also here we have x squared. I will have here 2x squared. Plus, here we have 2x, 4x. Here we have 4x. So here we have 8x. And we don't have constant number here. We have constant number 4. Take 94 to the left-hand side. 4 minus 94. I should write here. Minus 90 is equal to 0. Or I can simplify this further. Here we have x squared plus 4x minus 45 is equal to 0. Right? So we have to solve this quadratic equation. First, let's try factorization method. So can we find two numbers whose product is negative 45 and their sum is 4? 9, 5, it works, right? So it is, what is it? 9 times minus 5, and this one is 9 plus negative 5. So we can factorize it as x minus 5, x plus 9 is equal to 0. All right. From here, x equals, okay, we have 10 minutes left. X equals 5 or x equals negative 9. And since x represents the length of the rectangle, right? So this answer is rejected. And what is the answer? Dot, dot, dot. The value of x is 5. Okay. Now let's solve one more problem. Question 10. And after that, I will finish the class. Okay. And the rest you can practice yourself, or you can, If you need any help, anytime you can ask, you can just take the picture of the question, share in the group, Telegram group, or you can ask your TA, teacher assistant. Okay? All right, the last problem for today. A wire of length 200 centimeters is cut into two parts. All right, and each part is bent to form a square. If the area of the larger square is 9 times that of the smaller square, find the perimeter of the larger square. So find the perimeter of the larger square. Okay. A wire of length 200 centimeters. Okay, here we have a kind of wire. Let's say this is a wire. And the length is, what is the length of this wire? It is 200 centimeters. It means it is 2 meters, right? I love you. Okay, very good. So we just cut this into two parts and bend to form a square. Let me just cut from here. Okay, from here. All right. And so if I cut it into two parts, now I will have two pieces of wire. This is the first piece, and this is the second piece, right? And their total length is 200 centimeters. Okay. Actually, to simplify our question, I can just write everything in meters. 200 centimeters is 2 meters. Right? So if the length of this part is x, right? And this will be 2 minus x, right? Because total length should be equal to 2 meters. Now everything is in meters. And later I can change it into centimeters. Okay, now using this one, we form one square. And also using this piece, we are bending and forming smaller square. Okay. And if the area, so what is the perimeter of the square? We use this piece of wire to make the square, so perimeter of this one equals x. And how about the perimeter of this smaller one? It is 2 minus x. Okay, now if this is so, we know that all sides are equal, right? And all sides are equal. Then one side of this square will be 2 minus x over 4, right? Because perimeter a plus a plus a plus a equals 2 minus x, then x equals 2 minus x. How about this one? The side of the bigger square will be x over 4. Okay. So let's say this area is a sub 1. This one is a sub 2. In the question, it says that if the area of the larger square is, 9 times that of the smaller square. So this a sub 1 is equal to 9 times a sub 2. Then we need to find the perimeter of the larger square. What is the perimeter? It is x. So we have to find x. Now let's write everything in terms of x. What is a sub 1? Area of this square. So that's equal to x over 4 squared. Equals, on the right hand side, we have 9 times, how about a2? It is 2 minus x over 4 squared. Okay. Even I can just bring this 9 inside. At the time, we will have here x over 4 squared will be equal to, here we have 3 times 2 minus x over 4 squared, right? Just take this out, it will be 9. So what we have here is, we have something here. If x squared is equal to b, if x squared is equal to, let's say, a squared, and what is x? X is equal to plus minus a, right? Because with factorization, x squared minus a squared is equal to 0. X minus a times x plus a. From there, it has two solutions. So we have something similar here, right? That means that this x over 4 is equal to 3 times 2 minus x over 4, or this x over 4 equals minus 3 times 2 minus x over 4. Okay. If you solve this, 4 cancels each other. This is 6, negative 3x, take to the left-hand side. 4x equals 6, x equals 1.5. And how about if you solve this, 4 cancels each other, x equals minus 6 plus minus 6 plus 3x, take to the left-hand side, minus 2x equals minus 6, x equals 3, right? So actually this total length is 2 meters here. So this x cannot exceed 2, right? So it should be less than 2. That's why this answer is rejected. So x equals 1.5 meters. Okay. And what is the question here? Find the perimeter of the largest square. So dots, 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 dots. Here, perimeter of the largest square is x. That is 150 centimeters. Because at the beginning it's given in centimeters. That's why we leave our final answer in centimeters. Okay. Guys, I think that much is enough about quadratic equations. Next time, and also I will share a video. On Monday we have 1 hour. You need to watch yourself 1 hour together. I will start chapter 7. It's about coordinate geometry. For this problems, you need to practice yourself. If you have any question, either you can ask your teacher assistant, or you can ask me, or you can just ask on Telegram. Okay, take the picture, or just tell me the exercise name, like 6F question 10. Mr. Qasim, I solved this, but I didn't get the right answer. Okay, or I have no idea how to solve this, or I am stuck here, and blah blah. Okay, anything related to this chapter, if you have questions, you can ask through Telegram group. Okay, gentlemen and ladies, if you have any questions, please, you have 1 minute. Otherwise, now I'm going to end the meeting. We will continue next week. As you know, May 19 you will have midterm, either 18 or 19. They haven't announced yet. Soon you will receive email from provost office about the midterm schedule. Okay, midterm time you're going to have 90 minutes, as I told you. Okay, all right then, thank you very much. See you next week. Bye bye.